There we go. Got it. Hi, 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 hi. Let me get started everywhere. On my backup. Facebook. This one. Hey, y'all. Hi. Hi, Marina. Love you. Hey, y'all. Let's see. I'm missing. Hi, Internet. There you go. Hi. Hi, everybody. Hey. Okay, let's see. Get my Facebook going. Hey, y'all. Hey. Let's talk some business today. Let's get it popping. Let's see. Hey. Who's saying Tori? I don't know who that is. Gotta hear me a little bit before. Good. Yay. I don't know who that is. Who is that? Hey, y'all. Welcome. Let me get started on Instagram. I'm in Facebook over here. Business plan. How's everybody doing today? Drop me some diamonds if you're having a great day. Drop me some diamonds if you're not having a great day and you want it to get better. Yes. Gotta start somewhere, right? All right. Okay, I think we're live everywhere. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yes, welcome, y'all. Welcome. Okay, so there's some things that I wanted to cover with everybody today. It's a great day so far. Good. That's right. Yay. Count it all blessings, all good. That's what I say, right? Nikki Luxury Butters. Ooh, yes. Loves it. All right, so we are going to dig in and get started. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tori Torres, and I am the CEO of the Posh Girls Club. I'm a serial entrepreneur, community builder, social media and digital marketing strategist, author, designer to the stars, and mommy to Christian and Carmelo. I have run my online business successfully for 16 plus years selling bling. I've been featured on VH1, MTV, Bravo TV, Project Runway, House of DVF, to name a few, and been one of less than 20 companies for backstage exclusive events, including the Grammys, VH1, BET, and MTV Awards. And my products are seen and used by some of the biggest celebrities. And that includes Rihanna, Queen Bee, Taylor Swift, Khloe Kardashian, and Kylie Jenner, to name a few. I started in my living room and took my business to the red carpet, literally, by, and both of my companies reached six-figure status in their first year. Within the first year, both brands. So what does that mean for you? Through our private groups here at PGC, I provide you with the tools to build strong brands, create multiple streams of income from selling physical or digital products or even the services that you do. And I teach you how to monetize your passion to create freedom in your life. That's what she does, honey, okay? So welcome, hi. Welcome. For today, we are covering the business plan around your business. Okay, we're covering, I put together, so for my entrepreneurs that I work with all the time, a lot of the struggle that they, especially in the socialite, the girls that come in and they're ready to get started building their brand, and they're like, oh my gosh, there's so much information in here. Where do I start, right? And so I figured I did an onboarding video for them. But I figured that the people who are not in my private group might kind of want to know and understand exactly how the information works, because it's a lot of information. I share a lot of information. Hey y'all, I share a lot of information, and I get all the time, I don't know where to begin. I don't understand how to put it all together. Where is the starting point? So that's kind of what I wanted to do today, so that you understand, you get a clear understanding of the path in the business. So for wherever you are, I've got the different steps listed out. And so for wherever you are, it's going to help you figure out which step you need to be in. Okay, that's what today is all about. All right, so let's dig in. The first step is obviously brand building. Okay. Okay, yeah, I wrote myself a note, but I wanted to check and see what it was. So the first step is brand building. Drop me some diamonds if y'all are ready. So I know y'all are there, and I see all kinds of movement going on. Yeah, that's right. I listen. I pay attention, especially my group members. I definitely pay attention to what everyone is saying and trying to get them to the right place. So that's where I make my content from as well, is from my private group members. So yes, I was listening. Okay, so the first thing is brand building. Yes, okay, I'm getting diamonds over on Instagram. Okay, good stuff. So you want to make sure that if you have not, this is the beginning. So the brand building is where you're going to decide who you are. And our resident attorney says that I speak a lot about goodwill. That's the goodwill portion of your brand. What's it going to be? What you're going to put out into the world? Who you're going to be? How people are going to receive you? What your USP is? Everybody knows what the USP is? Your unique selling proposition. So what makes you different from other businesses? You have to understand that part of it before you really move on to anything else, because that's going to determine so many factors about your business. It's going to determine the clients that you bring in. It's going to determine the brand identity that you create. It's going to determine the visuals and the graphics and all of those things that you want to solidify across social media and across your website. So brand building is essential, and it does consist of goodwill, the brand identity, which I just described both of those. Okay, anyone in here that struggles with the actual branding part of their business, and that is defining your USP, the goodwill, as far as what your brand is going to stand for. And this is for people who are really taking themselves seriously in business and not just jumping out, like popping some stuff up on Instagram, like, hey, okay, let's sell some stuff. But this structure is really for people who are thinking about their brand long term and what they want to create and what they want to build and grow and make into something substantial. Okay, so branding is going to be essentially part one. Goodwill, identity, and USP, and protection, the legal part of it. Okay, so copyright, trademark, making sure to protect all of your content that you're putting out. All right. So the second thing that you want to structure and get done is going to be your web presence. Let's bring it together. Okay. So your web presence is going to be this. And again, this doesn't necessarily attach to, hold on, y'all, I'm trying to do this out of there. So your web presence is not necessarily having to have a website. Let's be clear. Now, I do suggest having a website, but I also don't suggest getting a website if it's going to, I don't suggest getting the website hold you up. A lot of people, I know a lot of you guys aren't like really technically savvy. So you have people that are doing your sites for you. Okay, and so that means that you're constantly, anyone in that situation where you have someone that's actually working on your site for you a lot of the time. So you have to, so you've got to kind of wait for people to do things. I know that's a lot of y'all, but so it doesn't necessarily, when I say having a web presence, I mean, you don't have to have the traditional site. We talk a lot about Adobe Spark here. And you wish, yeah. Okay, so we talk a lot about Adobe Spark, and Adobe Spark is free and it's very simple to use as far as setting up Spark pages. Okay, so so if you don't have a full-fledged website, or even if you're waiting for someone to build one, or you don't have a link in that bio, then your next step after that in building that web presence is making sure that you have these two in their snaps, is making sure that you have a web presence. Otherwise, you're doing what? Y'all already know, bleeding money, and she is not here for that, okay? If you're bleeding money, that means you don't have a link in your bio for people to go and do something. So if they can't buy or they aren't purchasing right then they can still go in and leave their email information, which is, you want to get people off of Instagram anyway, right? You want to move them into sales funnels off of Instagram. That's the whole point of it all, okay? So brand building and then web presence is going to be your next thing. So bleeding money, absolutely. You already know. She is not here for that, okay? There will be no bleeding money. Okay, so the next part of the plan for your business that you're going to need is to create your product offers. So once you've decided on your brand, you have your brand identity, your graphics, all those visuals you're going to need. And that branding process is continual, just so that you know, it's not something that, okay, boom, I've got it, and now that's it, okay? Yes, I will leave the replay up. So brand building, web presence, and again, the web presence doesn't necessarily need to be some beautiful, perfect website, because your website is for repeat customers anyway. It's for your repeat customers. So your initial customers, you want to get them into sales funnels and make sure that you're driving them into a sale and not having them leisurely kick it on your website. Like, ain't nobody got time for that, okay? Do some shopping already. Stop browsing. Okay? So the thing after that is creating your product offers. What does that look like? Y'all know what your product offers consist of, right? Hey. So your product offers are going to consist of your lead magnets and your videos and your graphics. And at this point, just creating the ideas are good. So once you get to this point, you don't necessarily need to have them all made. You just need to understand how to make them. I mean, that they need to be made, right? Hold on, there we go. So you just have to understand that they've got to be created. I do help network marketers. Yes, MLM are my favorite to work with. I say that about everybody because I always have tons of ideas. I do. I work with network marketers, absolutely, and multi-level, absolutely, and help you to market it and brand it so that it doesn't look like what everyone else does. Absolutely. Okay. So DM me and I can kind of tell you where to go. I don't think I've worked with Red Aspen, but I've not met a brand yet that I couldn't work with. So shoot me a message, okay? So because ideally the point is, again, for the questions that I just got, the whole concept is making yourself the brand. So even though you're selling products that represent a brand, you still become your own brand. She helps everyone get. Yes, my girls are all different businesses, all different kinds of businesses. And my goal is to make sure that no matter what business you're in, you're still branding yourself, because eventually you want to build into your own thing. Okay, so absolutely. So you're creating your product offers. That's going to be the third part of creating your business plan. Okay. Creating the plan for your brand from beginning to end, because just for anyone who, awesome, just for anyone who came in a little bit later, I always get the question of, where do I begin? You know, I don't really know where to start. I don't understand. Thank you, I appreciate it. I don't understand where to go with things. This is a really good outline to help you figure out where to start. And then if you've done, say you've already done your branding and you're boom, you got your branding life all together, right? So the next thing you would go to is your web presence. Check. Got your web presence together? Let's create those product offers. Got your product offer? Check. So that's how you consistently move through. That's how you consistently move through this business plan for your business. And each part of it is going to have different levels to it. Each part is going to have several steps that you got to do within it. But I created an actual page on the website called the business plan because I got this question so often from everyone, people that I was coming into contact with constantly wanting to know, where do I begin? So this is going to be an ongoing part of the website that walks you through. I actually created videos for everyone so you can walk through and see where you are and which thing that you need, which solution that we have that's going to help you wherever you are, okay? All of these different pointers that I'm covering, we have solutions for. So creating products and offers, I was there. So like I said, when you get to this point where you're thinking about your lead magnets and you're thinking about the kinds of your freebies, in other words, the things that you're going to use to bring people in, right? You don't necessarily need to have it all done at this point. You just need to be thinking about the ideas. What can I do as a lead magnet for Red, what was it that she said it was? Red Aspen. What can we do as a lead magnet for Red Aspen? And for her specifically as the brand who's talking about Red Aspen, excuse me, what can I do as a lead magnet that's gonna make make that customer come to me over somebody else? Okay, those are the things to think about. The sales funnels, email sequences, the tripwires, the upsells, all of those things you wanna think about at that phase. Any questions there? While I get the crazy out of my live. Thank you. I know somebody just blocked him. Thank you. Any questions on that before we move on the first three? Okay. So next we have, how did I get back in here? Next we have, once you figure out your products and you know what you want to offer, and these two kind of go hand in hand. They could go ahead of the other because with product offers, think about this, your product, when you're making your products, you can make your products for multiple audiences. So, or you're advertising for multiple audiences. I had to change the way I said that. So think about this. If you've got, you're selling a coffee mug, because there's one on my desk. Say you're selling a coffee mug and it's pink and it's girly and it's fun. There's a lot of audiences you can think about. There's a lot of girls that love pink. There's a lot of girls that love coffee and they are completely different audiences. There's a lot of people that love Starbucks and they're different audiences. There's people that love Target and they're different audiences. The products in the store or the product is the same, but you can actually market that product to multiple audiences to get more people in, because that's the whole goal. The more people you have, the better it's going to be. So you don't have to change the product. It's like, let me think about it like this from the digital product standpoint too, for any of you that are selling digital products. So think about this, right? If I create a masterclass, a webinar, a lot like we do the master classes. Once I'm done with that masterclass, I take that product from the digital perspective and I put that product out to multiple audiences because it's not just one person that's going to need it. Okay, so when you're getting ready to create your customer, don't limit yourself to one customer. All right, everybody follow me on that? Drop me some diamonds if y'all are still caught up and everything is still making sense. Because she is going through a lot today, okay? In 20 minutes, I've covered like, whoo. All right, so let's move on to the next thing, and that is the dream customer. Okay, so where do you find that customer? Where are they? Now you have an idea of who you want it to be. You have an idea of awesome, good stuff. of who you're going to target. And that's something that we do in the Instagram for entrepreneurs course. And that challenge, it's a 30-day challenge. So that Instagram for entrepreneurs is for number 3, where you create your product offers. You also create the customer that's going to need that. The customers, excuse me, plural, that's going to need that. Okay. All right. Next, like I said, the dream customer, you're going to figure out. So let's go back over them again. The blueprint for business building, your business plan, essentially, when you're trying to figure out the order and the structure of where do I start? Where do I begin? I don't know if I've done this. I don't know if I've done that. Number 1, start with brand building. Goodwill, protection, and legalities that you need to cover, your brand identity, and your unique selling proposition, your USP. Number 2 is your web presence. How are you going to represent yourself on the web? You don't necessarily need a full out blown website, especially if you're waiting for other people to do it. I'm a real big fan of finding other solutions so you don't bleed money, okay? No bleeding money. Number 3 was to create your product offers. That is not what you're selling. That is the whole gamut. That is what your whole sales pitch, your sales offer looks like. All right, so that's going to be lead magnets, your video. That might be you might do a video as a lead magnet. Like this video could actually be a lead magnet, okay? Because it's giving value, it's giving information to someone at no cost so that they can see my value. That's what a lead magnet essentially does, or your freebie for everybody who might not know what that is, okay? Develop the plan, that whole sales funnel, hey, with the tripwires and the upsells and the idea of the customer for like various products, okay? And then the next step is your dream customer. Who are you going to offer the product to? Yes, you are, and you're learning really well too. You're actually a very good student. I love it. I love when people like really, you can tell like they want to learn. They show up, they give it their best effort, and that's really what you can do and are open to learning. That's everything. To me, that's everything. That's the person that wins because they're open to it and they show up for themselves. When you show up for yourself, amazing things happen. They do, So I love that. All right, dream customer covers how to engage them, where they are, how to find them, and how to convert them, okay? All right, the next step is influence. Y'all know I love talking about influence, but nobody ever feels me on this. This is why a lot of people are not monetizing. This is why a lot of people aren't monetizing. You might have, some of us don't show up all the time. I always learn. And everyone can't show up all the time because I know a lot of you have your own businesses. That's not what I mean. What I mean is you're showing up. You're here now. You're here now. When you can, you're there. So that's what I mean. I know my girls, my group members, they're showing up for themselves because they're part of the group. Just being a part of the group and knowing that you have access to the resources that we have in our private groups is amazing. So that is showing up, okay? Plus you run a freaking beautiful planning business. So yeah, showing up is committing to it. And that's what I love. That's what I love about our groups, is that they're committed to it. Okay, influence. Influence is a part of the reason people aren't monetizing. Hi. It's a big part of why people aren't monetizing, okay? Because you haven't covered that influence portion of things. Yeah, you haven't covered that influence portion of things, right? So this is one of the things we're going to be covering in the Socialite soon too. How to work with brands, how to be influential, because that's a big part of your USP, connecting back to that unique selling proposition, what makes you who you are, what makes your audience follow and want to engage and interact with you. All of that matters. And I think not enough people spend time on influence. And so that's how we're going to cover it in the socialite because I want to make sure that you're taking it seriously and also from the perspective of if you are the brand and you want to work with influencers, what sort of things should you be looking for? Those are all really great attributes to learn and understand how to use, okay? All right, also, how to choose them and why you need more than one. A lot of people don't get stuck with like just one influencer, okay? So I've actually seen that happen with brands where they use one influencer, the influencer became bigger than the brand. I'm so glad you're covering this. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, I think influence is so important in just how you carry yourself and how you represent your brand and how you connect with your audience is really important. And it's especially when we're, you know, running brands using social media as a tool makes a big difference. So I think that there's some really important things to cover there. But I was giving the example of one young lady who was doing, she was the brand ambassador for a brand and then ended up opening her own business that was the same as the brand's, and her business became bigger. So you really have to, you know, that's something to consider as well when you're working with your influencers. You want it to be a joint collective thing, and you don't want to just use one. I love this idea of becoming an influencer. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. Okay, number 6 is to master your social media. I mean, we all know, we just had our social media for creators class. We just had that class last week, I believe it was, right? Y'all, it was last week on Instagram. Yeah, last week we had that class and it was amazing. It was awesome. And that's just not me saying it. That's what everyone said. So, and it's just, that can lead to burnout. We talked about that. We talked about the possibility of burnout. We talked about how Tuesday, thank you. We talked about how there's so many really cool things going on. So many cool, not platforms. Instagram is the platform. So many new additions and add-ons to the platform that are so awesome. Amazing class. Thank you. Yeah, they're so awesome that you want to take advantage of them, but you also want to connect a strategy so that you're not burning yourself out. Choose your platforms that you're going to work on and not, again, burn yourself out trying to master them all at once, and then be really smart and strategic about how you're doing that, okay? About how you are putting it all together. And that's what we covered in the social media for creators class, which was awesome. All right. And then the 7th one is, of course, your blog. This is the final one, your blog. I live for my blog. Now, this is the only one that's not in a specific order, okay? I don't know what that means, but I don't think I want it in my live stream. There we go. Yeah, the blog is one that throughout all of the other stages, you can actually be continually working on, okay? Because your blog is where you give your value. It's where you're going to share extra information with your audience. So, I deleted a comment by accident. Sorry, y'all. It's where you're going to share information with your visitors, let them know your value and give them value. Let them see what you bring to the table, okay? Let them see what you know, and then give them something so that they can take. Here's an example. So this is one that I've given before, and because I like this one. Okay, because I'm doing all this meal prep stuff and trying to get my life together. But for example, let's do it a little bit different. Usually I do it from the smoothies. Let's do it from meal prep. So I'm new to meal prep. I don't really know a whole lot, but I'm getting there. Well, it's not that I don't know. It's like, duh, I get it. But trying to figure out portions for these boys, forget about it. Christine eats everything, okay? So my meal prep, I mean, if there's 10 Tupperware in there, 5 of them will be gone before the midday. So that it's really hard, but I'm trying to get it down in larger portions while he's out of town, okay? He's greedy and he's perfectly fit. It makes me nauseous, but he's so perfect and he eats nonstop. So a great blog post with a freebie would be something that you know, might give me an intro to meal prep with teenage boys. Got 2 teenage boys in my house. So having something that's going to, some sort of freebie that you're going to give me, or some information on your blog that you're going to inform me about how I can take, how I can meal prep and shop for, you know, normal people and then a 16-year-old and meal prep it and have it healthy but still good, because if it's not good, he'll be, you know, mommy sucks, you know. Mommy, what is this you're giving me? Okay, so that's what your blog is going to encompass, information that if you're providing, maybe you're a health coach, and that might be what your blog, one portion of it is, you're going to help people, you know, create their own structured meal plans. But that giveaway is what, okay, I've given him like 4 different times now, so he's got to go, guy. So that blog is going to give that customer extreme value. Okay, that is the entire point of having it. And while you're doing your putting the structure of your business together, you can actually be creating those blog posts so that you have them and they become your landing pages. Okay. All right. Do we have any questions? I will do a quick recap. Let me know if we have any questions. I'm trying to get these down to 45 minutes, y'all. At most. 45 minutes at most. Okay. So let's do a quick recap. Today's live was covering the business plan, because I'm constantly getting asked, how in the world, where do I start? When we have people that come into the Socialite, or when I'm working with new clients and coaching them, I always get the question where I don't know, I have no idea where to begin. And for the Socialite, we have an onboarding video that actually teaches you how to get through and navigate and everything, right? Thank you. Well, I'm glad you're here, because I have tons of information that can help you for sure. And this is probably actually a great time for you to come in as I do this recap, because she says, for the people on Facebook, she's saying, I love what your IG represents. I just started my business this year and it's been hard. Very common, very common. And again, that's because of the, how do I create my business plan? Let me finish answering the first question, because I'll be answering them all over the place. I just started. It is difficult when you don't have a structure, but when you get the structure and you understand how to put it all together, and that's what we do, help you organize it and put your thoughts together and bring your ideas into reality. You know, that's what we do with our diamonds, which is advanced coaching, and our Socialite club. Okay. And I have tons of blog content as well that can get you started. And I do freebies every now and then. So there's lots of starting places to start getting the information to help you. And the other question is, how do I create a business plan around blogging? Is it the same as a media kit? No, it is not the same thing as a media kit. We're actually covering this in the Socialite next month. I am focused on blogging is a big part of what I do. I live for blogging. I make a lot of money blogging and I teach it to my girls because I understand the value of it. There's a lot of money to be made on your blog if you set them up properly. And if you set it up one time, the great thing is once you set it up once, it's just a matter of running ads to it and getting people to see it over and over. Well, you might want to consider joining us in the Socialite, because we cover blogging a lot. I have full courses on blogging that are cheaper than buying as a member. than buying a blogging bundle that you don't get my help with hands-on. That's the great thing about being a part of the community, because once you're there, you're able to get help hands-on. Okay. All right. So this recap will definitely help you. Okay. So this is the brand building, the business plan of where you start. Okay. This is where you start and how you decide which point you're at in your business. Yes, blogging is coming back. We started out with blogging in the Socialite, and it will be coming back in the next couple of months. So definitely you'll be able to access that information. Okay. All right. So recap on everything. Number one, brand building. You got to decide what your brand is going to be, the goodwill of your brand. What is it going to represent? What are you putting out into the world? Has everyone done this? Drop me some diamonds if you've considered this already. And if not, just say no. What your goodwill will be. Do you know what that means? What your USP is going to be. Your identity. How many of you have actually done, figured out what your brand identity is going to be? We have a free masterclass coming up on that soon too. I think Sunday or Monday, next Monday in a week. No, okay. That's a big part of brand building. And this is a step that a lot of people miss. And if you miss that, it's really hard to monetize. It's really hard because you end up like when you're in an MLM and when you're, yes, my diamonds and socialites. Yes, honey, I see you. Yes, good. Okay. So I know we've spent a lot of time on this in our groups for sure. When you're brand building, you have to think about more than just the colors and more than just, there's so many different components to that. The goodwill, the USP, thanks to me, thank you. The USP, protecting your ideas, the legalities. We have a resident attorney as a part of our private group as well. Hey, Steph. Okay. The second part, of course, was the web presence. You absolutely have to have your web presence, whether that be a full out website or whether that just be something as simple as a Spark landing page where you can just give a little bit more information about yourself. Okay, that's a must. You need to create your product offers, which the whole offer includes your lead magnets and your video. Your sales funnel, those email sequences, all of that is your offer. That would be the next part in the full business plan. Deciding on who your dream customer is. And again, this is the specific order that I would also suggest. I really thought about it a lot to make sure it made sense, but this is the order. Because for your products and offers, you can have more than one dream customer. And you should, you absolutely should. You should have a niche customer that you know so well who's gonna want the product. But that person has many different attributes, okay? It's not just one customer. Otherwise, you're really limiting yourself, okay? And then influence. Influence is a must. You gotta be able to create influence in your audience to keep people coming back. Especially if you are an influencer, you know, or if you're the face of your brand, or if you're providing a service, okay? Very important factor. And then what was the other one? Your social media, avoiding burnout, deciding on your platforms, figuring out which platforms you're gonna master first. And you might move on to some other platforms as well eventually, but you're gonna start out mastering specific ones. Obvi, Instagram with IGTV, everybody should be on that social media. Hey, right? Everyone should be on IGTV killing it, okay? Creating your concept for, this is amazing. I wish I could listen to this whole video. I'll follow you and stay in touch. Awesome. Thank you. Sounds good. Yeah, master your social media because that is where the marketing is happening. and it's only gonna continue. It's only gonna get bigger. IGTV, I'm hoping and waiting with bated breath for some new, for new stuff that's coming out with it. I'm checking constantly because I'm really excited about where this whole thing is going and the monetization opportunities, right? I'm so excited and waiting to see what's gonna happen next. So master your social media and master it in your way. Get your own concept and your strategy for whatever you want to your channel to be. Like I said, we're going to be covering influence next month in the Socialite. We're going to be covering influence because it's such a major part of, and it goes together with the social media. And I know a lot of my girls are in that place where that's what they need. So I can't wait to release that content in just a few days in the Socialite. Welcome to the Diamond Club, stay forever. Yes. And then your blog and your value. Okay, that's the final step. Your blog and your value, which you can, that is the one that you don't necessarily need to go in order. Your blog and your value, you can consistently be creating blog posts. And I gave an example earlier. If you missed it, you're gonna have to catch it on the replay because it was a long example. But yes, it will be up as long as nothing crazy happens to the replay. And that's it. Did you guys have any other questions for today? I'm trying to make these a little bit longer. Thank you. My content, thank you. Thank you so much. I really work hard on my content because I don't want to give you guys, I'm never gonna give you all fluff content ever. It's stuff, thank you. I have such good notes from today. Awesome, fire. Yes. I'm never gonna give you fluff content ever. I'm gonna continue pissing people off because I give out so much information. Because I give so much information, but there's always something else to be learned, okay? So when I teach you something, I really want you to get it so that you can move on to the next phase and continue to grow and build your brand and not be stuck in the same place. I just don't think that's even ethical. Are you going to go deeper into becoming an influencer in one of the groups? The Socialite, yes. All of next month's content is about influence. Picking people for influencers, creating influence, yes ma'am. So if you're a member of the Socialite group, then definitely please talk to us about the next Diamond Girls event. Which one? What we just met up yesterday. The Diamonds met up yesterday, but yes, we do have a meeting once a month too with the Diamonds, and we do one-on-ones with the Diamonds. So yes. Okay, and also Girls Night In. Tickets are now available for Girls Night In October 20th and the 21st. It's a 2-day event. And E-Code really wore me out. Like, we were running around like crazy. So I wanted to do, and I didn't feel like it was as intimate as I wanted it to be. So with the Girls Night In event, I wanted it to be like more intimate, where we're in the Girls Night In. Did I say out? It's Girls Night In. I wanted it to be more intimate, where we can just sit and vibe and talk business and hear your thoughts and share mine on your businesses and building your brands. And I'm gonna bring some material for you, but I really wanted it to be something where we don't have to be rushing from one location to the other in just like what felt like hours to me. Even though it was 2 or 3 days for me, it still felt like hours. So this event is going to be different than E-Code, which was fun and great for our first event. But I really wanted something before, because next year we're going to be planning, we're actually putting together yearly events, getaways, full on. I just had a meeting on Saturday about it. Full on event, like retreat every year, Diamond Awards, a really big deal. So these events, the ones that I'm doing, like Girls Night In, I want them to be more intimate, where I can, connect with my audience and your businesses and my private group members, okay? So I'm really looking forward to it. If you haven't checked out the tickets, we have multiple, yes, we got some major stuff coming up. So just hang, definitely make sure to hit the follow if you're new. I'm really about community and building our communities and building the women in our community, strong women who, strong businesses. That's my goal, okay? So I don't just talk it, it's real for me, all right? Thank you. All right, ladies, so thank y'all for coming in. I so appreciate you all.